if you are ever feeling stuck, if you are ever feeling stagnant, this is the episode for you. Everybody has that negative voice inside their head. I like to call it my inner bitch, and sometimes she is an absolute savage.
The Mindspo podcast.
What do you see with your mind's eye?
Welcome back. Let's elevate. Roll your shoulders up and back. Unclench your jaw. Elongate your spine as you take a deep breath in. And now, exhale. Now take your mind to that person, place, or thing that you have gratitude for, and start to feel into the joy available to you at all times. Elevate into a higher vibration as we expand together and dive into this conversation.
Welcome to the Mindspo podcast. My name's Rochelle Fox. You are tuning in for the Mindspo Manifestation Series brought to you by Manifesty app. Now, as I am recording this right now, we are halfway through 2023. I cannot believe I am saying that. Time is absolutely flying. And often when I get to this halfway point in a year, I like to take inventory of the year so far. I like to look in and investigate and just do a little mid-year check-in just to check that I'm still on the right path, I'm doing the right things, and I'm going in the direction of my dreams. Now, I really want to set the scene for today's podcast, and I want you to imagine as me as your coach, and we are sitting down for a mid-year manifestation check-in. This check-in is all about clearing your energy, realigning yourself with what you want to be doing, and dropping the dead weight of the things that aren't really lighting you up. And I really wanted to do today's podcast and have this energy with this podcast because this is something that I've done for myself. I have literally been my own coach in the last week, and I have gone through these sets of tools and tips and tricks and just kind of realigned my energy and gotten clear on what I want the rest of the year to look like. Now, if you're listening to this podcast episode and it is not halfway through the year, this can still apply to you. This is a really good episode if you are ever feeling stuck, if you are ever feeling stagnant, if you are ever feeling like you just need to pick up the motivation and kind of just get things moving and you're looking for some momentum, this is the episode for you. So I have 7 things that I'm going to go over in this episode, 7 action points, 7 steps, 7 aha moments and takeaways that I want you to apply into your life. So without further ado, let's get into them. So the first thing I want you to check in on and take note of is time. Now, time is a completely made up human construct, right? Months, years, days, minutes, like this is all something that humans created to make sense of existence. And while time is a made up concept that we use as humans, I really love to think about the concept of time. I believe thinking about time and being aware of time is how you value time. Because when you really think about your existence and how you are not here forever and that you are here only for a short amount of time and then you leave, that is when you really start to value like the actual time that you have here. The reason that life is so precious and the reason that life is so valuable is that it doesn't go on forever. Like we are not here forever. It is not a forever thing. And around this time of year, when we're like 6 months into a year or when we're kind of feeling stuck or stagnant, it's usually because we have like lost track of time. We're not focusing on time. We're not bringing that into the forefront of our mind. So I really want you to think about time and really start to deconstruct what it is that you want to do and the action steps that you want to take and put timelines on them. I feel like deadlines get a lot of flack, and I feel like a lot of people have a lot of negativity towards the idea and the concept of deadlines. They hear the idea of deadlines and they think about work and corporate and school and homework, and it's kind of like a wounded topic for a lot of people because most people's experiences of deadlines have been incredibly negative. And if that is the case for you, I want you to reframe your relationship with deadlines. Deadlines can be the most beautiful, expansive, juicy, exciting things in your life. They can be the things that push you and propel you forward and actually kind of put a fire under your ass to do the things that you want to do, not to do the things that your boss wants you to do or your teachers wanted you to do or your parents wanted you to do or society wanted you to to do. No, use deadlines as a way to navigate what it is you want to do in your life. So take your power back and redefine your relationship with deadlines. Start to create a positive relationship with deadlines and play with this deadline energy. For me personally, when I set a deadline, that is when I get fired up. That is when I get excited. That is when I know, oh, shit is really happening. It's flying. It's working. Like I am going to make some moves because it is a construct where I can actually see the time passing by. And when I set a deadline, it's not that it makes me more stressed or worried. It actually makes me aware of the time that I have to get the thing done that I want to do. And it allows me to kind of bring that present focus and that action focus into alignment. So rather than just getting stuck in unconscious time loops or wasting my time or doing things that I actually don't want to do, I'm like, no. I need to be present for the time that I have now because there is a deadline. So when I think of deadlines, I like to think of deadlines as a container that I construct my time around. And during that deadline, during that time constraint, I choose and make sure that I align my priorities to do the things that are going to get me closer to where I want to be at the end of that deadline. So your action step for this one is I want you to choose a deadline. It could be the end of 2023 and the start of 2024. It could be 6 months. It could be 3 months. It could be 2 months. It could be the next quarter. Whatever it is, set aside a deadline and start counting down the days. If you follow me on my own Instagram stories, you will see that I'm doing this for my own life. I currently have a daily countdown. I'm at 94 days. And after those 94 days, that is when I'm planning to go to Australia. So I'm giving myself a 94-day deadline to get a series of things done. And the thing that I want to say with this, your action step is to really choose a set of tasks, a series of things that you are going to do within that specific deadline time. Now, I don't like to put like a deadline on my manifestation. So there are a lot of things that I'm manifesting that are not fully in my control. They involve other people and other companies and other things falling into place. However, there are a series of steps that I can take as an individual that are going to get me closer to that goal, that are going to align me closer with that vision. And during that deadline, during the next 94 days, I have set myself a series of habits, a series of to-dos, a series of tasks that I have allocated to myself to get done. Doing this helps me so much with manifesting, setting aside a certain amount of time, counting down the time, getting focused on it, and really reimagining your relationship with deadlines, getting excited about deadlines, realizing that they're things that can be very supportive, very helpful, and just using them as something that can positively enhance your life rather than stress you out. I promise you, if you do this and you've never had a personal deadline, it is so amazing because I really do feel like it is such a sad thing that so many of us have such a negative relationship with something that can be so beneficial for our own life and our own personal growth. So step one, you set yourself a deadline, get some accountability, write it down, get a countdown timer going, know what tasks you need to do within that deadline, and stay focused on your vision every single day. Step number 2 is to get grateful and to focus on your wins. Around mid-year and any time that we are feeling stuck and a little bit overwhelmed and just out of focus, this is when the wins and the gratitude and the focus on the positive really just kind of goes out the window. I definitely feel like at this time of year, it is really easy to be like, oh, this hasn't happened yet. And I said I was going to get this and I wanted to do this. And oh my God, I totally forgot about this. And I've been so overwhelmed with this and this thing has happened. And we can just kind of get lost in the busyness of life. And these big visions that we had at the beginning of the year can sort of feel like they're just not going to come to fruition maybe. This has definitely happened to me in the past. I feel like this year I'm pretty on track because I've been very aligned with what I want to be doing and I'm really working in flow, but I haven't always had years like this. I have had years and times where I have just felt like I have not made any progress on the things that I said I was going to do. And when I get like that, the best advice that I have for you and myself is to get grateful and focus on what's working. It is so easy to get into a poor me, I'm not good enough, I can't do this kind of story. If you are someone that has experienced a lot of sort of self-deprecation in the past, if you are someone that has put yourself down a lot in the past, if you are someone that has made a lot of promises to yourself and maybe not followed through on those promises, it is really easy to slip into this sort of negative vibe self-talk. And a lot of the time it's internal. We are having these conversations in our head. These are not conversations that we're having with other people. You're not alone with that, by the way. Everybody has that negative voice inside their head. I like to call it my inner bitch. And sometimes she is an absolute savage. But when she is a savage, I like to use the voice of my higher self and remind my inner bitch, hang on a second. We're not that bad. We are making progress. We are doing things. Look at the things that are working. And I really do that inner work to realign my focus and to also amplify the little things and the little wins. So a lot of the time we can have these big picture manifestations or dreams or goals that we're going for in our life. And if we haven't reached those things by a certain time, we can just sort of dismiss all of the other things that are going well in our life. So I want you to refocus your energy and write a gratitude list of all of the things that are going well in your life. And I want you to get really specific. I want you to go to the mundane things, the things that you wouldn't normally notice. This is your action step. I want you to focus on all of the things that you have to be grateful for. Think about the things that you have in your life that are working, that you have paid no attention to, that you haven't focused on at all, that you haven't given any care to. But if that thing fell apart, if that relationship or that person or that job or that income or whatever it is fell apart, or your health, you would be sitting there praying, saying, oh my gosh, please, can I get it back? I'm so sorry. I'm so grateful. Like, I wish this was not the way it was. Like, please, can I just turn back time? Like, I want you to think about those things that if they were taken away tomorrow, you would be kicking yourself that you weren't grateful for them today. Focus on those things at this time of year. Focus on those things whenever you are stuck, whenever you are in a rut. Give time and attention and energy to those things, because what you focus on expands. And there's already so many things that are working in your life that are going good and that are even going great that you are not taking inventory of. So take that inventory, get grateful, and know that what you focus on expands. Step number 3 is a big one. And I know if you put energy and intention into this, so much is going to change for you. And that is to refresh and revisit your vision board, or even better, upgrade your vision board to a manifestation movie. I think that it is wild that we have this tradition in our culture of making a vision board just once a year. So many people do their vision boards just once a year. They never revisit it. They never look at it. They never focus on it. It literally collects dust in some cupboard, thrown away, and it was just something that they did on January that they posted for an Instagram post, and then they're done. That is not how I do vision boards, and I have had no success with my vision boards when I do that. For me, a vision board is something that I use as a visual reminder, as an energetic container to remind and refocus my vision on a day-to-day basis. And personally, I don't use physical vision boards anymore. I use manifestation movies. If you've been following this podcast for a while, you probably know about Manifesty app that sponsors all of these podcast episodes. Manifesty app is literally a vision board come to life. This is the app that I created to help you create a vision board movie. I have been using vision board movies or manifestation movies for years, like literally over a decade now. I started doing these on iMovie and they were game changing for me. What a manifestation movie is, or a vision board movie, is it is pictures of your vision. So it is the pictures that you put on your vision board, but instead they're digital, right? And then what you do is you add a high vibratory song. So in Manifesty, we have a complete library of songs that will get you in a higher vibration, get you feeling good, filled with affirmations and really, really good frequencies. And then you have affirmations that affirm that vision of your future. And then what you do is you put those all together and you play that movie every single day, and you allow that movie to reignite your vision, to align you with what you want to create in this life, and focus yourself on a day-to-day basis. So when you wake up in the morning and you watch this movie, you know what it is you're working for. You know what it is you're doing. You know why you are making those choices, because you have a clear vision and a clear motivation of that future version of yourself. So if you are listening to this podcast and you haven't already made yourself a manifestation movie, if you are not already a user of Manifesty app, this is your sign. Use this mid-year halfway point, or this time when you are feeling stuck and overwhelmed, to really get in there and try something new. Go and make yourself a vision board movie and feel into that future, that that lights you up every single day. Watch your manifestation movie every single day. And when you watch a manifestation movie every single day on Manifesty app, you will also get a collectible. So we have these pop-up collectibles that you collect every single day that have manifestation reminders. They are written by myself and Sol, and they are little messages from us to you to help remind you of how manifestation works. So not only are you watching your vision every single day, but you are learning about the law of attraction and manifestation. So if you haven't already, go make yourself a manifestation movie, upgrade your vision board, take that vision board that maybe you made in January that needs updating, put it in Manifesty, and see the magic unfold. Step number 4 is to get clear on your fuck yeses and your nos. If you haven't already listened to my podcast episode on this, I will link it in the show notes because this is one thing that helps me so much. It is all about having boundaries. And I feel at this time of the year is when things start to pile up and things that you don't necessarily want to do get put on your plate. And if you are feeling lost and directionless, sometimes you can say yes to things that actually are not a fuck yes. And these things are going to drain your energy and not help you in the long run. So I really want you to get clear on what is a fuck yes for you and what is a fuck no. And I want you to do a little bit of future scripting. Get out a piece of paper. And on one side, I want you to write fuck yes. And on one side, write no. And on the fuck yes, write down things that if they manifested, if they appeared in your life that were a fuck yes, what would they be? So think about things like it would be a fuck yes if I collaborated with this person in my business, or it would be a fuck yes to having phone-free Sundays, or a fuck yes to my partner taking me on a random romantic date, or a fuck yes to a pay rise, or a fuck yes to a trip overseas, or a fuck yes to, what's a juicy one? 10 new solar line clients saying yes to my program. Like write everything that you are available for that just feels energetically alive and something that you want to call in and manifest for the next 6 months. So write down all of those things. Even if they're things that haven't happened yet, write them down, get clear, say to the universe, this is my fuck yes list. This is what I'm available for. And then at the same time, I want you to also write what you are not available for. So looking at the next 6 months or the next 3 months or however long you're looking at, like what is it that you are no longer available for? What are you already energetically saying no to? This can be really, really helpful because sometimes we're not clear on our no. Sometimes we're kind of directionless and floating in the wind, and that is not helping us at all. So write down what you are no longer available for, what you are saying no to, and that is going to help you so much when those things potentially come up because you have already said no to them by writing this list. It is going to be so much easier for you to verbally say no, stand your ground, and just keep moving in the direction of your fuck yeses. Because remember, when you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So you need to really make sure that the things that you are saying yes to are your fuck yeses. Step number 5 is to try my 5-5 lose 5 method. This is a social media method that I created for myself whenever I feel like my social media is starting to feel a little stale. Whenever I feel like I need some more momentum and I'm feeling a little bit lost, I really look to my social media to do a cleanup. Now, if you listen to one of my first ever podcast episodes in this series, you would know that my 8th step to manifesting is all around digital wellness and auto-suggestion. Your social media is really, really important when it comes to manifesting. And a lot of people do not make this connection. Your social media feeds are feeding you every single day. This is your information diet. It is what is affecting your conscious and subconscious brain on a day-to-day basis. So you've got to be so clear that the things that you are looking at are lighting you up. They're inspiring you. They're motivating you. They're making you feel more full rather than drained. And social media is one of the easiest ways that we can drain our energy, drain our time, and just fall into things like the comparison trap. So how you practice the find 5, lose 5 method is you go and find 5 accounts that rather inspire, ignite, or entertain you on social media, and you follow those 5 new accounts. And when you follow those 5 accounts, you engage with their posts. So you watch their stories, you like their content, you comment on the things that they're putting out. So you teach the algorithm, this is what I want in my social media feed. And then I want you to look through your algorithm as well. And at the same time, I want you to lose 5. So unfollow 5 accounts that no longer energetically feel in alignment with the person that you are wanting to become. Or maybe their content just isn't resonating with you. This is so important to do. And for me, whenever I spend time curating and clearing and really just being intentional with my social media, I see so many changes in my day-to-day life. Your social media algorithms can be a place of expansion or a place of contraction. You can use your social media as a way to expand your horizons or a way to contract you energetically. So be mindful of the content you consume and be a savage with your social media and try this technique. My sixth step is a really powerful one. And I know if you follow through on this, it is going to have a massive difference in your life. And look, you know I love meditation. This whole entire podcast, Mindspo, everything started through my love of meditation. And as a meditation teacher, the thing that I want to influence you to do the most in life is to meditate and to create a relationship with yourself and know yourself through meditation. I feel like with meditation though, sometimes we can get overwhelmed with the amount of meditations out there. There's mantra, there's guided, there's visualizations. And sometimes the resistance to meditating can be choosing which meditation to do. And something that I have found through, my 12 years of meditation practice and my relationship with meditation is when you can choose a meditation that you go to on a regular basis, that you use as your go-to meditation, your practice strengthens so much. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people do. So I have had a relationship with mantra-based meditation for over 12 years now. That is my go-to meditation practice. I do a mantra meditation practice basically every single day, and I use the Mindspo meditation method. That said, when I am manifesting something or I'm wanting to really kind of get that momentum going and to stay focused on my dreams, I like to choose a specific manifestation meditation to do in my practice and go back to on a regular basis. So if you go on Manifesty, there are a few that I can suggest to you for this practice. One would be the Embody Success meditation on Manifesty. Another one would be the Higher Self Activation meditation, the Light Bath meditation, or the Artist of Life meditation. And my challenge to you is to choose one of these meditations or choose another manifesting meditation that you absolutely love and have this be your go-to meditation that you do every day or every second day as often as you can. Because when you go back and do the same meditation over and over and over, especially when it's a manifesting meditation or a visualization meditation, like I've just shared with these ones on Manifesty, you are imprinting the same picture, the same vision, the same thoughts, the same patterns every single day. And it is going to strengthen and feed that vision of your future. So try this tip, do it for the specific amount of time that you are using for that deadline method that I started this podcast with. It is such a game changer. And I feel like this is going to enhance your meditation practice and supercharge your manifestations as well. My seventh and final tip for you in this manifestation energetic makeover episode is to shine a light on whatever it is you are avoiding. Look at the time that you have set for yourself to get whatever it is that you want to get done and ask yourself, what is the thing that you are avoiding? What is the one thing that if you went and did, if you took action on, everything else would fall into place? I feel like we all have things that we're avoiding that would get us closer to our dreams. And a lot of the time, we are the people that are actually holding our dreams at bay. We are the ones that are holding ourselves back. And if you find yourself holding yourself back and you notice that you are avoiding something, ask yourself why. Maybe get a coach to work with you through this. Really shine a light on the things that you're avoiding and just go into them, question them. Ask yourself, what are you scared of? What are you running away from? Why is it that you are putting this thing off? If you were to actually follow through on this thing and your manifestation or your goal or whatever it is that you want was to happen, what is it that you're scared of? What is the fear that is stopping you from following through? Really getting clear on what you're avoiding is basically for me the way that I get really unstuck. It is how I started this podcast. This was the one thing that I was avoiding. It was the one manifestation, the one thing that I wanted to do in my business for so many years that I avoided for so long. And actually moving through that resistance, choosing to stop avoiding it and just going for it and taking action on it has opened up my life in such a beautiful way. And it is why I am here with you today. The things that you are avoiding are the things that have the most magic and expansion attached to them. So don't ignore those things. Go into them, take action on them, and don't be the person that cock blocks yourself from your own abundance. You are literally here listening to this podcast, here with me today because you have a big dream. You have something that you want to do. You have a vision for your life, and it is your birthright to go and get that vision, to go and embody that dream, to go and receive whatever it is that you want to receive and be whoever it is that you want to be. I really hope that this episode has motivated you, refreshed you, really got you thinking about things in a different ways. There are lots of different tools and techniques. So honestly, one of the best things I can say to you is go and actually take action on the things that I say. Manifestation is not just a passive thing that you listen and go, oh, cool, now I have all this new information. No, take action. Make manifestation a lifestyle. Take action on the things that you are learning and start to show up in the world as that new version of yourself, right? Start to take the things that I have said and put them into practice. And that is when you are going to start to see the results. And when you do see the results, when you do start to see these shifts in your life, be sure to let me know that you are seeing the shifts. One of the best ways that you can support this podcast is to leave us a review. So if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and you haven't already, left us a 5-star review with some words on how this podcast has been resonating with you. It would mean the world to me and the team if you did that. And I'm just sending you so much love. Thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.
Thank you for joining me for this episode. You can discover more from Mindspo on Instagram and TikTok by following @Mindspo and myself @Rochelle_Fox. If this episode inspired you, then please pass it on and share the love. And if you're new to our world and you want to elevate your mind and step into your best self, then be sure to download our app, Manifesty, from the App Store and take advantage of the free trial. With Manifesty, you can create your own vision board movies, practice powerful meditations, and set affirmation reminders so your phone supports your journey towards that abundant vision of your future. And lastly, always remember, you create your own reality. So go and make some magic.